Tinder is a dating app.
A dating app.
Social networking app.
Speed dating.
A dating app, short and simple.
You upload pictures that are connected to your Facebook, and you can put a little small bio.
It's nice because you really only get a paragraph to sum up yourself.
It's kind of like flipping through a catalog of different people that are around your area.
And you essentially judge the person. If you like them, you swipe right. If you don't like them, you swipe left.
And if they find you attractive, they like you. And if you like them, you are what's called matched, and then you can communicate.
It's a dating site that they've just taken out all the extra, and they have what they look like, one paragraph summary, yes, no.
Before I used Tinder, when I was just kind of hearing about it, everybody just kind of knew it as the app where people hooked up with people.
I think there's a stigma attached to all online dating. I feel like Tinder is definitely for booty calls and one-night stands, and especially for our generation, it's just a hookup.
Today I went on a date with some guy from Tinder. It was just awkward, had nothing in common. That's kind of how the whole date went. I was just counting down the seconds to be over, to be honest. That sounds terrible. He's a nice guy and everything, just not, I probably will not continue using Tinder. Yeah, it's just not how I want to go about meeting people. Because the only common ground you have in a social media site is that social media. So I think it's better to go outside, enjoy the weather, and say hello to a fella or something, I don't know.
I only had Tinder for about 2 weeks before I met her. My friends and I were kind of having a competition of how many matches and stuff we can get. So I would just like every girl I saw. One of them was her, so I get this match and I started talking to her, and we just couldn't stop talking to each other. It was nonstop. We had so much chemistry.
We still haven't told our families how we met. We just say we met on a blind date.
We've been talking of getting engaged this summer.
Went on one Tinder date and we met for coffee. I was a nervous wreck, which in retrospect, caffeine was not a good thing to add to that equation. Yeah, during the date we were both just so awkward. I don't think there was no salvaging it. I feel bad. He did ask for a second date and I said no, and that was the whole ordeal. So right after the date, he texted me, "Can we start you up to a second date?" And like an adult, I ignored that for 24 hours. So I'm not sure a second date would be the best idea, honestly. Yesterday felt rather forced for me. I wish you would reconsider. It does hurt my feelings a bit knowing you aren't comfortable around me. Yeah, we Tinder broke up.
I have gone on a couple dates with people. The most recent date that I went on, that was the first date, I actually went over to her house and just to hang out and stuff, which is a huge thing. I was actually really surprised. We honestly just talked for a good 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours or something, and then after that I went home. Honest to God, we didn't do anything. My real focus was actually giving Tinder a chance, giving these dating apps a chance for me to actually find somebody, and it worked out. I met somebody who had similar interests. We clicked and we started dating.
There's this one date I went on with this guy, and that was by far the worst one. We went out to dinner, and then after we ate dinner, he said that he forgot his wallet. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So then I paid. I was like, okay, why don't we go, because it was in downtown Davis. I was like, why don't we go to a bar or something? And he said he didn't have his ID. So then he asked if he could come home with me. And I was like, no, what the heck?
I think before I started personally trying to get dates for this, my bio was something like film student, cat enthusiast with a cat emoji.
I literally know
that this guy's name is Cy. I think it's Cy. It's spelled C-Y, and that's it. That's all I know about him. I just hope the date goes well, and I'm not too awkward, because I'm super awkward. Hi. Come in. I'm Haley.
Nice to meet you.
Want coffee or water or? Okay.
Thank you. You ever been on a date at 9 o'clock in the morning?
No.
Okay. Not the only one.
It was the first for everyone. I thought you weren't gonna show up, to be honest.
I almost didn't.
I really don't blame you.
The date wasn't nearly as awkward as I thought it was going to be, although it was still kind of awkward.
Well, I didn't know what to expect. I was just kind of like, when I came here, but now that I'm here, it was kind of cool. She was chill.
I honestly didn't have much expectations for the date. In fact, it exceeded my expectations because I just thought it was going to be horrible.
I think the date went pretty well. She's just a nice person.
It wasn't really much of a date since we had to have it at my house.
I think maybe it'd be kind of cool just to see her in a different situation. I'd like to actually take her on a real date.
Even though we met on Tinder, I still think it's weird that like you can meet somebody that you're gonna date online instead of in person.
I feel like Tinder is very, very good in that it definitely works in our modern society of apps and everything's on the smartphone, and it's definitely geared towards the 20-something age group. I think it works really well in there. I think it's a very smart app. There's a lot of instant gratification about Tinder, and so I think it fits in very well.
I'd like to say it'd be nice if we could go back to the traditional way. You know, you go to the coffee shop and you happen to meet somebody and you take them out and everything happens to work out. But we got, you know, it's 2015, we got Wi-Fi in our cars.
I will not continue to use Tinder after this. I'm gonna marry my cat and live happily catty ever after.
Hey, sweetie, come on. Ugh. Okay, I'm happy now.